We put out on the internet, or you...
On the internet.
On the interweb.
The interwebs. The Instagram.
I'm the worst.
Hi! We are the Castles.
I'm Jeremy, and this is Krista.
And I'm Krista, and this is Jeremy.
I guess the reason for this video, really quick, is we've only done one little video about our new founded venture, and that was basically me going and buying a school bus without her knowing. So we just want to kind of explain where we're at now.
So we are both 24 years old, and born and raised in the Bay Area. And we now have our little grommet of a kid, RJ, who is over a year and a half now. He's 20 months to be exact. And we bought a school bus. Not exactly, I knew about it. I knew that we were going to do it. It wasn't a complete surprise. And actually, it was my idea.
Yeah. Everybody thinks I'm the crazy one. And they're like, Jeremy, how do you feel like you're gonna drag Krista through this whole process of living in a bus?
And I say, it was my idea.
Yeah. But it was a great one. And
yeah, it's honestly been something we've been wanting to do since we've been together, which is 7.5 years now.
Yeah. 7.5 years.
Not a bus exactly, but it's evolved into a bus of us just, when we were young kids in love, didn't have any priorities. We were just like, let's live in a van one day and just travel around.
Yeah.
We wanted a VW van, with a Winnebago on top. And we got married when we were 20, engaged when we were 19, and then we had RJ when we were 22. Jeremy barely turned 23 after he was born.
Yeah.
And so, when you have kids, things change a little bit. You need more space. You have different responsibilities. He started a career shortly after we got married, and we still wanted to hold on to that love for travel and that love for a simple life. And it was probably about, I want to say,
a year ago.
Probably less than that, maybe about 8 months ago. We're like, we can't afford this living here in the Bay Area. It's ridiculously expensive, but we want you to be by our families. That's really important to us, and our church community is extremely important to us, and we wanted to find a way to stay here. And we started looking into tiny homes, which are amazing, but then we're like, oh, we don't have that kind of money. So
I said Airstream.
Yeah, he said Airstream, and I was down for it, but again, the price of living in that and buying it was just too much for us. Yeah. So I had seen a school bus on Craigslist, and someone had said like, selling our school bus that we were gonna renovate into a home, and we can't anymore. Does anyone want to buy it? We didn't end up buying that school bus, but I just sent him a picture. I was like,
it sparked an idea.
I was like, what would you think about living in a bus?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't even remember what you said.
Yeah.
I think you're just like, okay.
I was, at that moment, I was at like a men's Bible study, and we were sitting around talking, and kind of everyone was asking, hey, what are you worried about? What do you need prayer about right now? And I'm like, well, our lease is up in a few months, and we knew the landlord was just going to skyrocket the rent, and we were basically out of a home at that point, and we only had so many months to kind of get there. And I was just like, I just totally need prayer for like the next upcoming months of where we're gonna live. And they're like, okay, we'll just pray for that. And like right after the group was done praying for me, I got this text, and it was like, hey, what about a school bus? And
a text from me.
Yeah. And it was really weird because I got this like overwhelming sense of peace about it. And I got home, and we actually talked about it, and it was really weird. We were like finally seeing eye to eye. And
yeah, we'd been fighting a lot about what to do. I was looking at moving an hour away. Yep. He was really adamant about that, and
living in a tent at Walmart. Just kidding.
No, I'm sure you would love that. So it was the first thing that we really saw eye to eye on, and I had told him about this on a Wednesday night.
Yep.
And we have date night every Thursday.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
So it was like the calmer. I'll just jump to the date night. cut you off. The date night, it was so weird. We were like really freaking out about how in sync we were about it. It was like, as a married couple, you have moments where you're like, oh yeah, we totally agree on some things, but other things you kind of have your own opinions on. And both of us were like, this is really insane how eye to eye we're seeing. And it we were like freaking out. We're like, are we crazy? Like, do we need like someone, a third party, to come in and see this? And so what I decided was, every morning that we woke up, I was gonna ask her the first thing in the morning, like, do you still want to live in a school bus? And her answer was,
yeah.
Every morning I would just ask her.
But we were just so excited about the idea of it, and we didn't really think, I don't know, I think we're just, we said we don't want to be excited about something and do something just because we're excited about it. We wanted it to be a really sound decision. We really wanted to be in agreement on it. We really wanted it to make sense for us as a family, because we know this isn't a lifestyle for everybody. But so we just didn't want to do something just because it sounded fun and adventurous, and that's who we are. But we still, we had to think of our son, we had to think of our jobs, we had to think of our commitments here. And so that whole date night, we just talked about it. And I was leaving for the Philippines on Sunday morning. And he had said to me, he was like, if I were to pick you up in a school bus, what would you do? And I was like, okay, first of all, I wouldn't put that past him, because that's just who Jeremy is.
Yeah.
Second of all, I wouldn't be mad about it. And I'm not someone that's like, I'm very logical. I think out everything. I have to have a plan for everything.
Yeah, this whimsical adventure wasn't something.
He's a whimsical guy. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. But if you did do something like that, in the very off chance, because it had been less than a week that we had been talking about this, I was like, in the off chance that you do this, I would know that we were both on the same page about it. I would know that you really felt led by God, like you had a sound idea by God that He's moving us in this direction. Yeah. And that, you really just felt like you were in accordance with that, and and that you knew that I would be okay with it, and that you're gonna still be able to have your job, I'm still gonna be able to do my thing, and we would actually make it happen. And so I left on my trip, and there's a whole other video that we can show you guys another time for that, which is really sweet.
Essentially, I dropped her off at the airport, and then I dropped my son off at my parents' house, and then my dad dropped me off back at the airport, and I went immediately after to go get the bus. And the guy that sold me the bus went and picked me up. So
in Oregon.
And
he drove it back from Oregon. So I told him about the idea on Wednesday. We had a bus by that next Monday, so less than a week. So, and it was all happening really, it fell into place really perfectly. And so it just seemed like the right thing. But no, go ahead.
I feel like we were both very affirmed, and it was really evident that God's hand was in it, and it was like, man, like things are just falling into place, and we're not having to work really hard for this, and it just kind of worked out. And I think God definitely worked things together for us, and just said, hey, this is going to be a lot of work for you guys, but
a lot of work for you.
I think it's
right
a lot
now.
of, yeah.
Maybe for me later.
Yeah. But we put out on the internet,
on the internet,
the
interwebs, the Instagram.
I'm the worst.
We put on our Instagram story, and we asked if anyone had questions about anything, about us, about the bus, about, I don't know, you could literally ask us anything. Anything that we put in our videos is fair game. Yeah,
I mean, because this is not a choice everybody makes, especially in the Bay Area. It's the norm for our age group is to graduate college and get right into a career and buy a house and get married and do the golden retriever thing.
Golden retriever thing?
Golden retriever thing.
Are you saying we're getting a golden retriever?
Nah.
Because we've done a lot of those things, just not in that order. So
I know. Well, white picket fence and all that.
He's gonna get me a dog.
Eventually.
I'm gonna put it on the internet, and they will all fight against you to get me a dog. It's a great idea.
Maybe another baby first. Anyway, okay, so
but
it's not normal.
It's not normal, but we haven't done anything normal since
Day
the
one.
existence of our relationship, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
we met when we were 14. So 10 years now. Started dating when we were
Congrats.
16, 17.
Yeah.
Got engaged when we were 19, married when we were 20.
Yeah.
Did some college. Both worked our jobs.
Yeah.
Lived in a little studio that Jeremy helped build.
Yeah.
And found our careers pretty early on with little to no school, which is unique.
Found our home church really easy.
Found the love of our home church almost immediately after we got
Yeah.
married, which was something we
That was
really
huge.
wanted in our marriage, and
Yeah.
got plugged in doing missions there, which
I don't know.
I still don't know how we're allowed to do that, but we do it, and
We're
it gives
young.
us we're young, we're sprightly.
Sprightly. 10 points. Great word.